I know this might sound a little bit weird, but I've got this weird fascination with crime. I think that criminals are absolutely fascinating. And I'm not talking about petty crimes, petty burglars, or crimes involving like harassment and stuff like that. I'm talking about career criminals, the professionals, the mobsters. One thing you learn when watching a lot of these crime shows, detectives and investigators, especially the feds, they are experts at recognizing liars. I remember watching one of these crime shows a while back, and they're talking to a veteran investigator. He said something to the effect of, the greater the story, the greater the lie. When someone has a guilty conscience or when someone is accused of something that they've actually done, they have a tendency to deflect. They have a tendency to create these grand stories of illusion. This same concept is true in your everyday life. For example, if someone accused me of coming on here every day and presenting a false narrative to you guys, I would just laugh it off. I wouldn't really be bothered by it because I know it's not true. I don't even know if I would come on here and address it. Why would I waste my time addressing something that I know is blatantly false? Now, if the accusation was true, I would probably do everything in my power to convince you guys otherwise. Which is exactly what's been happening the last couple of days with the U.S. women's soccer team. The other night, after our lovely representatives who hate America advanced in the World Cup by being saved by the goalpost, Carli Lloyd absolutely went off on the players. These wonderful women, they were celebrating like they just won their third World Cup. There was plenty of dancing on the field. Megan Rapinoe, who has been riding the cucumber on the bench throughout the World Cup. The only time she has seen the field is when she's out there to cut the grass. Meggie, she finally found her way to the field to properly celebrate failure, dancing along with her fellow activists by doing the shoulder lean. This celebration of failure, it disgusted Carli Lloyd. She chastised these women for celebrating a tie. She claimed they were lucky not to be going home. But that is not what struck a nerve, at least with the activist. Those comments did go viral on social media, but that is not what bothered the players. What bothered the players was Carli Lloyd questioning their commitment. Carli Lloyd claimed that these activists, they are not playing as a team, they're playing as individuals. They didn't travel to the World Cup to represent America, which is obvious to anyone who is bothered watching. These women travel to the World Cup to represent themselves. They are brand building. They're looking for endorsement deals. They're looking to build their social media following so they can become influencers like their object of worship, Meggie Rapinoe. Could you imagine if the person you looked up to was Megan Rapinoe? Why would anyone aspire to be a disease? Megan Rapinoe is a cancer, and there are thousands of young women, some of which sharing a locker room with her right now, who aspire to be the next Megan Rapinoe. Anyway, put yourself in their position for a second. You are representing your country in the World Cup. You've been accused of playing for yourself, not playing with yourself. You have been accused of putting yourself above the team. Your commitment has been questioned. If these allegations were not true, if you knew your performance on the field made it obvious that these accusations were false, would you even waste your time addressing them? Several members of the U.S. women's team, they have addressed Carli Lloyd's criticisms of their squad. Not one member, not even two. I'm talking about three of them on three separate occasions, one of whom was the damn coach, Vlatko Andonovsky. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his name, so we'll just call him Coach or head activist. The coach addressed the criticisms of Carli Lloyd during a press conference. Now, I'm going to combine his bitterness with another set of comments made by Ari Krieger, maybe Ali Krieger. Who cares? It doesn't matter what her name is. To be fair, though, I think Ali Krieger is a former player, not a current player. Either way, she made it a point to speak to ESPN to defend her fellow players. Watch for yourself.
This team wanted to win this game more than anything else. To question the mentality of this team, to question the willingness to win, to compete. I think it's insane.
I don't think it was really necessary to say what she said. They're allowed to smile. They're allowed to enjoy the moment. They're allowed to be happy that they made it into the 16 with a tie. Yeah, that's not something we love to celebrate because we're not used to that, right? We can say that in a way that's not too arrogant.
This isn't the first time Lloyd has criticized her former team, saying last year players are too focused on building their brands and not winning.
I don't agree with that because I think as women, we can multitask, right? We can make our money. We can play at the highest level. We can, win championships all at the same time. I don't think we would be saying that about any of the men, male athletes on the men's side, doing everything and also playing at the highest level.
So let's start by addressing Coach Vlad. I don't remember anyone questioning their desire to win the game. Not one time did I hear Carli Lloyd accuse the players of going out there to lose. There's not a doubt in my mind that they were trying to win that game. They want those checks to keep rolling in. Plus, I would imagine that most of these ladies have no desire to return to America. I mean, would you want to return to a country that is rampant with mythical misogyny and oppression? For some of these women, being in Australia or New Zealand, it's the first time they have been able to escape the traumatic oppression here in America. So there is no doubt they want to continue winning, but the desire to win's only half the battle. Carli Lloyd questioned their commitment. She basically questioned their character. Did you notice Coach Vlad didn't touch on those criticisms? Did you notice that? He didn't defend his players by saying that they played as a team. He didn't defend them against the accusation that they were playing for themselves. He simply stated, questioning their desire to win is insane. Sure. Let's get to Ali Krieger, who basically doubled down on the claim that these women are competing for themselves. Ali Krieger doesn't see any problem with these women focusing on their social media following instead of being fully focused on the World Cup. As women, we had this innate ability to multitask. Really? I don't think anyone would care about this if these women were performing, but through 3 games, they have managed to beat a shitty Vietnam squad while tying the other 2 games. Ali Krieger claimed that we would not be questioning men if they were in the same predicament. Yes the fuck we would. If a group of NBA players were representing America in the Olympics, and during the national anthem they stood with scowls on their faces looking like they were pissed off to be representing America, when they were criticized about it, they responded with defiance and agitation in the media, then on the court, they look like shit. Let's say through 3 games, they barely beat 2 shitty teams, and they lose to a group of YMCA players from Bermuda. All the while, they are constantly promoting themselves on social media. You mean to tell me people would not be questioning their commitment? Ali Krieger also made the point that these women deserve to smile. I know a tie isn't the desired result, but they advanced. This should be cause for woke hug celebrations. People were not questioning their smiles. People were questioning the over-the-top celebration. They were questioning the foo-foo dancing impersonations of the dancing queen Jackie Mahomes. People were wondering why Megan Rapinoe was celebrating when she hasn't contributed a fucking thing the entire World Cup. Now, the comments I just shared with you, those were bad enough, but you can make a strong case that no one has said anything more perplexing than Lindsey Horan. Now, to her credit, Lindsey Horan, great soccer player. Not so great at public speaking, though. When she was asked about the criticisms of Carli Lloyd, Lindsey Horan claimed that it was just noise, which that is perfectly fine. She's actually right about that. If she would have left it there, things would have been fine. But like I said in the beginning, when guilty people are accused of something, they have a tendency to deflect. They have a tendency to create illusions to convince people that the accusations have no credibility. Now, I wish I could have found the video footage of these comments, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm relying on ESPN to have accurately quoted Lindsey Horan here. In response to Carli Lloyd, Lindsey Horan said something to the effect of, "You have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. You have no idea about our training. I don't care about your opinion. It doesn't matter. You questioning our mentality really doesn't matter." Does Lindsey Horan know who she's talking to? I mean, seriously, does she know who Carli Lloyd is? Carli Lloyd is a fucking legend. Carli Lloyd is a two-time World Cup winner. Even as a retired player, Carli Lloyd, she should be the face of women's soccer, not Megan Rapinoe. Now, me personally, I'm not qualified. I have no idea what goes on behind the scenes, but I think Carli Lloyd is more than qualified. Over the last couple of weeks, we have talked a lot about people having a hard time supporting this group of women. Are you starting to understand why? Are you starting to see why people are frustrated with this group? Skip Bayless has made a career of questioning and criticizing LeBron James. He questions LeBron in late game situations. He questions LeBron's career. He questions his decision making. In the past 20 years, how many times have you heard LeBron James reply to Skip Bayless? Look, I am not a defender of LeBron James, but I will defend him here because LeBron, he lets his play do all the talking. His resume speaks for itself. The problem with these women in the World Cup, their level of play can't back up their level of hype. Going into the World Cup, they were touting themselves as the favorites. Maggie Rapinoe bragging about them on social media when she's not even an active player. And they come out in the first 3 games and stink the joint up worse than the toxic smell people are exposed to every morning on The View. Their mouths are doing all the talking because their play can't back it up. Obviously, Carli Lloyd has struck a nerve here, which tells me everything Carli Lloyd said about this group is true. Maybe I'm wrong to believe her. Maybe Carli Lloyd is wrong. What do you think? With all these responses to her criticisms, do you think Carli Lloyd was off base here? Or are these women defending themselves against false allegations? Do you think this group has represented America well at the World Cup? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.